Welcome back. Today we're talking about what do you wear to a business conference, and is what you wear to a business conference different than what you're going to wear elsewhere? We're going to talk about that. All right, well, I'm excited to talk about this, and especially because I've experienced this with you. This is Eugenia. She's an amazing wardrobe consultant. Is that what you call yourself?
A wardrobe stylist.
Stylist. That sounds even better. Consultant sounds more.
Consultant is good too, but.
So I've experienced this with you in that you've helped me with my wardrobe,
Yes.
and we've talked about, I'm going to be speaking at this event, or I'm going to be going to this conference. And so how is the conversation different when we're talking about going to a conference? How does that apply to wardrobe?
So it's very important. So we can actually break it down into two. Are you an attendee or you're actually speaking at a conference, right? It depends. If you're an attendee, obviously this is your time to shine, your time to dress to impress, to dress to how you want others to perceive you, right? So make sure that you dress the part and that you look your brand, your business card, have a personal style, right? So make sure that your clothing is clean and pressed. Make sure
Which that can be tough if you're traveling to a conference.
Well, you know what? Usually most hotels have an iron and an ironing board, or you can take a little portable steamer.
So people use iron. Those irons are actually.
You should use those irons, Nate. Absolutely. They are there for a purpose.
I have to say, since working with you, I've been using the irons at the hotels I've stayed at, but I haven't before.
Well, let me ask you, do you want people to look at you and say, oh my gosh, did you just roll out of bed? Or do you want them to actually take you serious, right?
Yeah.
So yes, make sure your clothes are pressed. It makes a big difference.
Okay, so you talk about you're going there as a participant, but yet you're representing your brand.
Always. You're always representing your brand. You have to remember, you never know who you're going to meet, right? You never know if you're going to meet your next best collaboration, future clients. You never know. So you always want to be prepared to dress to impress. So I have an example.
Yeah.
I have a few different clients who have national conferences that they attend to every year. Sometimes they play the part that they attend, and others they are actually speaking at these major conferences. And some of them are national conferences where they're speaking on stage, being thousands and thousands of eyeballs on them. So, but I have one particular gentleman who, for the past 3 or 4 years now, he goes to this conference for his real estate company. And he contacted me and he said, you know what, Eugenia, I want to look like $1 million when I go to this conference. It's very important to me. And so anyway, every time he goes, he always gets complimented and comments of his colleagues of how sharp he looks. In fact, he wanted to have an accessory, and not everybody needs to do this, but he wanted to have an accessory that said who he was, that helped him stand out from the crowd, right? Which actually happened to be like a red wool hat, just a nice, beautiful hat. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that just for anybody, but anyway, it looked really good on him, and people started recognizing him by that hat, and then the rest of the outfits would follow. And often he would also have to go on stage to get some awards and everything, and he would just stand out like a sore thumb. And in fact,
Or a good thumb.
What did I say? Like a sore thumb? Yeah, well, we don't want to say that. Cut! We want to say he stood out like he really stood out from the crowd. Yeah. And he caught the eyes of the owners of this company, and he's actually gotten to work with them on a personal level and in some national events, and that has really been very positive and beneficial to him, both personally and professionally. So you never know. You want to dress to impress.
Yeah, so I mean, we understand networking and how going to events like that, there's so many people that you can meet, but there's so much that gets said without saying anything.
That's correct. You want to be approachable. You want to look approachable. You don't want to look like you're better than anybody else. That is not what I'm saying. But you only have that one first time to make that first impression. And it better be a positive one.
So, in the example of that gentleman, he had that hat, and it sounds like that was kind of iconic. Should you plan like a kind of a theme that people recognize you, or can you do different things on different days if it's a multi-day conference?
Absolutely. You can certainly do different things different days, but it needs to represent who you are. It needs to be your personal style, right? But one thing you need to keep in mind is to plan ahead. If you don't plan ahead and you pack it last minute, it's not going to turn out as well. You're not going to feel as good about yourself, and I guarantee you something's going to be missing. So you want to make sure you plan ahead. Planning ahead meaning maybe even a month ahead, or at least a couple of weeks ahead. Go through your wardrobe, make sure you have what you want to wear. If you don't, go shopping. And if you still don't know what to do, or if you don't have time, then absolutely hire a wardrobe stylist, because your time could be better served elsewhere, and it's stressful for a lot of people. So plan your week. If you're a gentleman, for example, wear blazers. You always look sharp, and most business conferences are business casual. I think it's safe to assume that if you're an attendee, it's a business casual. So we can talk about a little bit of what that means for both men and women.
Yeah. Yeah, so what are some, let's get into some specific recommendations for men and women.
Okay. For gentlemen, business casual, it's always a big question. Most gentlemen have no idea what that means. What that means is a blazer, some really nice dark wash jeans, just like what you're wearing, a nice well-fitted button-down shirt like what you're wearing, or if you want to switch the button-down shirt, which we've done with you, we've also opted for some t-shirts, some nice t-shirts, no logos, no, just solid clean t-shirts, either round neck or v-neck. Some other days can also be a nice knit polo, not a polo that you wear out to the golfing range, but a nice knit polo, again with no logos or anything. This is not the time to be wearing a logo of your company on your polo, believe it or not. So so you can switch things up. You can also wear trousers if you'd like. You do not have to wear a suit, but if you do want to wear a suit, a lot of people love the whole suit idea. It is so much easier. Both items go together and it's easy, and then you just mix a button-down shirt. You don't have to wear a tie. Pretty much business casual is dark denim jeans, blazers, button-downs, knit polos, or t-shirts that speak to your brand, and then make sure you wear nice leather shoes. Shoes that look good and polished, not that have been worn, or walked in 1,000 miles. So that's very important.
So I want to comment on the logo thing, because as I've gone through another rebrand, but a couple years ago when I first created my Be the Hero brand, I was so excited about it. And I created some fitness shirts that I really liked, and they look great as far as fitness wear, but I started wearing that as, well, this represents my brand, I'm just going to wear this shirt everywhere. So I started dressing more casual when I'd go to professional events or networking, just so that, and it stood out, people recognized it. But just having a conversation with you and you showing me some alternatives and stuff like that, like, maybe just shed a little bit more light on why did you recommend so much that I not wear those shirts, and why you recommend people, even with a polo, they don't wear an embroidered logo on their shirt.
So number one is the fit for you. The shirt that you were wearing, the make of the shirt too, it was 110% polyester. You even admitted it. It looked like it, right? And it was it hugged you in the wrong places, and I'm not sure that was the look you wanted to portray.
Okay.
I mean, you told me you told me specifically with words what you wanted to portray, and that logo t-shirt did not portray that. You are the CEO of your company, right? You're not a door-to-door salesman, and that's kind of that look that you look like if you're wearing 100% polyester polo shirt with a big logo on it. You don't look like you're the CEO. Now, there are absolutely those times for you to wear your shirt with your embroidery and the name of your company on it. Absolutely. But conferences is really not the place.
Yeah, because at the conferences I've been to since working with you, I've seen a lot of people that are there wearing their logo, and some of them are the vendors. They're there at a booth.
Exactly.
They've got a logo right there. But anyone,
and that's different, and
yeah.
that's a little bit more appropriate, sure.
And but people, let's even exclude them, because there's that, I guess it would be another conversation. But other people that have come up, they've just been a participant like me, shaking my hand, want to introduce, and I see the logo on their shirt. The first thought I had is, this is an employee and their boss sent them to this conference. That wasn't a judgment that I made, and I noticed that. And that's definitely for me, because I'm not an employee.
You're the CEO,
I'm the
just
owner
like
of
I
my
said.
company.
Exactly. You want to
So I didn't
look the part.
Didn't realize that that's the signal I was sending to people.
Now, if you want others to know automatically what your company is, an option is to wear one of those name tags that have the little the little magnets. That's an option. I think that's a lot better. So then you can wear the nice sharp outfit that you are wearing and be switching that magnet around from your outfits. That's a good option if you really want people to automatically gravitate to what you do and stuff like that. So that's a better option, I think, than to have it glued on your clothing.
Okay, let's talk about women then, and
Okay.
what you recommend for women at a conference.
So, ladies, what I recommend is not too different from gentlemen. If you want to wear dark denim jeans, be careful with the skinny look, that you're not wearing jeggings because they look like yoga pants. So if you are doing that, wear a top that comes below your derriere or mid-thigh, so it looks a little bit more appropriate. Dresses, skirts are also a good idea. If those make you, if you're comfortable wearing those, make sure that they come to the knee or just below the knee. Wear tops that definitely are not too low cut. Make sure that you look appropriate in that way too. And also shoes. Wear shoes that are comfortable and appropriate at the same time, which is a little bit tougher for us women because, come on, the heels, they just make you look and feel so much better. But an option for that, which often if you're an attendee, you have to walk a lot and you want to make sure you're comfortable, is to carry a pair of flats that are comfortable, or there are some flats actually that fold in half and you can pack them in your purse or in your tote carry bag that you're carrying all day with articles from the conference and whatnot, and you can just switch them. You get to your meeting or you get to main conference, then you switch to your shoes, you're talking to people, you're going to be walking, you can switch your shoes. But yeah, make sure that you are comfortable, stay under 4-inch heels. You don't want to send out the wrong impression. And again, clean and pressed.
So
one more thing, if I may. Make sure to wear makeup. There's a lot of ladies that professionally they're in the healthcare world, or they like the natural look, and that's what they sell too. But you should always wear, even if it's just a little bit of makeup. It just makes you look more polished.
All right, awesome. So who knew that a conference, you could put a lot more into it and maybe get a lot more out of it by doing so, by planning ahead. So thanks a lot for sharing this wisdom with
You're
our
very
audience
welcome.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.